And Ms. Snyder, we are now live. I don't see Ash. There she is. We're live.
Am I the only one who can't hear Ashley?
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
There you go.
All right, well, I said a whole bunch of stuff. I'll start over. Welcome everyone to tonight's Village of Gulf Manors Executive Committee meeting, November 9th, 2020. I don't see our newest member here yet, Mr. Wilkinson. Has anyone heard from him?
I have not.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and start with roll call.
Ms. Cheney.
Here.
Mr. Pridnoff.
Present.
Mr. Simile.
Here.
Ms. Snyder.
Here.
And Mr. Wilkinson.
Do we have a motion to excuse Mr. Wilkinson?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Has everyone had a chance to review tonight's agenda? All right. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Let's see here. We don't have anyone registered to speak tonight. So
Not this-
I'm sorry?
No, there was not.
Okay, great. Then we can go ahead and review the October 12 minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at those?
Yes. Motion to approve.
All
Second.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
hang on a second. It looks like Rob and Chief Campbell are both here.
Welcome, Rob. Welcome, Chief Campbell. Okay. So, looks like we only have old business to attend to today. Are there any updates on the Vera Road project?
Yeah, Ms. Snyder, before we launch into that, I just sent an email out to everybody. We have identified an employee of the administration who tested positive for COVID. So
Okay.
we shut the administration building down this afternoon, and we'll be out of there for the next couple of days. The maintenance crew is going to clean and disinfect. We wish the individual well, and I also want to note that I just got a text from Miss Cheney that a member of her family just tested positive for COVID. I'm assuming that's down in Tennessee, Sharon. So our thoughts and prayers are with your grandson.
No, it's my son here.
Oh, okay.
He's in the hospital.
Oh,
Got a
I'm
note.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I just found out about an hour ago.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, anything we can do to help, and if you need to go, go.
Okay, thanks.
Other than that, launching into this evening's business, nothing new to report yet for Vera. They're in the design phase with the engineering. I'm still expecting that bids will go out probably sometime after the Thanksgiving holiday. Just another note that applications for funding were submitted last Friday for the 2022 projects. So as we recall, Elbrook, Weehee, the Hamel and Canterbury project, and the Englewood projects are the four that we are asking for funding. Not necessarily will we do all four of those projects in 2022. Elbrook would be the priority, but based on some of the initial looks at funding available, it appears that we could have a shot at maybe doing all four. So I will keep council up to date on that. Mr. Lanzer is leveraging what our payments will be, because each of those projects requires half of the money upfront from the village, and then the second half is a 20-year interest-free loan that we can pay off at any time, but allowing us to do this, that process gives us more bang for the buck and more roads done. So we'll keep you up to date on that as soon as we lock down what our strategy is. Any questions on that?
Nope. And the speed hump project, has it been completed?
It actually has. I didn't hear back from the contractor today. There are some sign adjustments that are being made, and the 15-mile-per-hour signs did not get posted as a part of the project. We're going to go ahead and have the contractor do that. It'll be more efficient for us and cost less rather than having our own maintenance department do that. The painting is complete. And one of the things the Ardmore residents will notice is that there is a standard signage package now that goes with each speed hump. Those were not installed at Ardmore because we didn't know about that at the time. And Ardmore will be retrofitted to match the rest of the speed humps in the village. So hopefully, I'm expecting the contractor to be back in the village this week to finish up.
Great. Anything on rental property licensing or vacant building ordinance?
No, at this point, we're going to call this a no report until January and pick up the first of the year with both of those.
Okay. And are you able, for the garbage contract negotiations coming up, are you able to forward our old contract to us to perhaps review?
That's not a problem. In fact, if you go to our ordinances online, and that's in the link that says Code of Ordinances, that actual contract is a part of our ordinances. But
Okay.
I'll go ahead within the next week or so we'll get a copy to you so you guys can take a look at that.
Great, thank you. I think that'll be a good thing to review over our 2-month break. And leaf collection, how's that going?
So leaves are going well. The service crew's been out for about a week and a half or close to 2 weeks collecting leaves throughout the village. If any resident is watching this evening, I just want to reiterate one thing. Please do not brush your leaves to the street. Brush them to the curb or in the right of way. Do not brush them to the street. There's quite a few residents in the village who have done that in the past and are continuing to do it. The service department, when they come across it, they will give a courtesy one-time pickup when they come across those. They will provide a notice to the resident telling them about proper leaf procedures, and they will refrain from picking up leaves for repeat offenders when it comes to that. It's a safety issue. Leaves just should not be in the street.
Right, and it could also clog our gutter, our drains.
Yeah, and that's the other big thing. So, we've been getting a lot of rain here lately, and if the drains are clogged with leaves, that water's got to go somewhere, and a lot of times it's running down hills into people's basements.
Right. I do have a quick question about leaf collection. Do they do they start Monday and then work through Friday, and do they just kind of rotate the streets that are on the schedule, or do they try to hit one street per day, or will they ever cycle back to the streets at the beginning of the list?
So the goal is to work from the schedule that's provided on the website. A lot of it's dependent on the volume of leaves that are out in the village. So for example, today they were only able to get, I think, one street just because there was a bunch of leaves on the street and it filled up the truck. So The truck, the leaf box is big, but it's not that big, and it can fill up quite quickly depending on the volume of leaves. So this morning they filled it up before lunch, and then this afternoon they had to go and deposit the leaves at the leaf facility. So they're going to get every leaf that's out in the village, they will get if it's put to the curb.
Okay.
And they will get every residence multiple times. But again, there's a lot of variables involved in it. They do try to stick to the schedule. If they can't get to a street that's scheduled in a day due to the volume of leaves or people parking in front, I mean, they will get it the next day.
Okay.
That actually was, and I forgot to mention this to Mr. Lanzer, I think it was on Graceland. There was a nice clean street except under one vehicle where somebody had parked on the top of a big pile of leaves. If any of our residents watch this, please move your vehicles, especially don't park on top of large piles of.
Yeah, parking's an issue in the village, and we understand that, and the service department understands that. But for every car that has leaves parked right behind it, it just takes collecting those leaves that much longer and delays the process. You know, when
Right.
that happens, car after car after car, it takes quite a while.
Well, that transitions us nicely to our parking discussion. Ms. Cheney and I met with Chief Campbell and had a nice discussion about what we can do in the village to perhaps alleviate the parking issues. Chief Campbell had a great idea that I wanted to share with all of you. So for example, in situations where there maybe two cars could fit between a driveway, but a car, kind of parks dead in the middle, that's a valuable spot on the curb that another resident could use. Chief Campbell's suggestion was perhaps do courtesy striping on the streets that do have parking issues, just as a suggested mark of how many cars, normal size cars, could fit on that curb space. And I wanted to see what everyone else thought about that idea. Anyone?
I like that idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Mr.
especially on
Lanzer? Sorry, go ahead.
the streets where the parking is more crowded, and I think guidelines like that could be very helpful.
Right. Yeah, I don't see the need for it on a street like Ardmore or Canterbury, for example, but Mayflower, Graceland, Elbrook. From a practical matter, Mr. Lanzer, would that be something that maintenance could easily accomplish once leaf collection is through?
Yeah, they can do anything. It's just all about identifying what our priorities are.
Right.
It will have to happen if that's the route we go. I just want to caution that it will have to wait until after leaves are collected.
Right.
But sure, I mean they're capable of doing most anything. We just need to let them know.
Okay, great.
Well, I was going to say, so actually things that I learned in paint school recently, the street paint that we use easily washes off. So where you saw on Ardmore, those were water-based regular paint that were used on those initial humps. I think it was 2.5 to 3 years later, those markings are gone. So they use thermal striping to put down the new ones. And in fact, Lasanaville is all thermal striping, and that is still in good shape. What we would want to do is a project like that, most likely in late winter, early spring when it starts to warm up, and then use thermal striping on that project also. So that gives us enough time to work with the police department in terms of where some of the most advantageous places would be to do that type of striping. And that I would recommend that be in your complete package of recommendations regarding parking that you want to do at the first of the year.
Sure. And the parking ordinances in general have been added to our online packet for everyone to review and perhaps come up with some ideas. Included in that, apparently in 1979, the village adopted an ordinance for parking permits. Mr. Donnellan gave us a little insight on how that all went down. Apparently it did not go over well with the residents, and perhaps in the basement we might find old stickers, boxes of them, because they abandoned that route. So while that's an opportunity, the foundation is laid for us to do a parking permit structure again, but we might meet the same resistance. So it might be good for us to look at other avenues for helping people with their parking issues. And then We Thrive. We should be having a meeting hopefully next week with those involved. Correct, Ron?
Yeah, in fact, we have reached out to Jacqueline Threadgill to see if she would be a resident co-chair of that effort. She's interested. She would like to, actually, what I think the best thing at this point is to have Christy Iwasako and her group from the We Thrive Initiative talk with myself, Ms. Snyder, and whoever else Ms. Snyder would like to bring along, just to talk about what the goals of We Thrive are, and to look at some of the needs that we have in the village of Gulf Manor, to give Ms. Threadgill an idea of what's going to be involved in this type of committee. We do need somebody to co-chair, and I don't know if it turns out that Ms. Threadgill does want to do that, we'll need to have somebody to join her in that capacity, which I think is a great idea. Not one person bearing all the work of a committee. I don't know if you have people that you're interested in passing on, and we'll have a discussion about this in the full council meeting tonight. There already is a process that we use to vet people who are interested in council committees or commissions or boards, those kinds of things. It's posted on the website. Most recently, Mr. Wilkinson, welcome. He used that process, and we find that to be a great way to vet people for positions with the village. So always, if you have somebody who's interested, point them to the website, have them fill out the information, give that to me, and we'll start the discussion.
All right. Sounds good. And I think that is it for us. We have no new business, and I believe this is our last meeting of the year. So, unless there are any other announcements, anybody?
So your next meeting would be on Monday, January 11th at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I have appreciated everybody's hard work in supporting the administration. I'm sure Mayor Densmore will agree with that. You guys have done a great job this year through some very difficult circumstances. And here's hoping that next year is a little bit better for us.
Yes, please. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See some of you later tonight and the rest of you next year.
Take care.
Christmas.
Hey, guys.
Why are they leaving?